Friend Barbara Allen, is it too late to accept your invitation to dinner? Scrooge said. So when we're going to go through the process of seeing this, I look at the first measure on page 68 of the 50 all-time greatest ukulele classics. Now, I'm not sponsored by this book, nor the arranger, Thomas Ballinger, but I do dig the book, use it to teach. So follow with me if you have the book. I go to the first measure, I see that the time signature is 3/4, meaning there are 3 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. So when I look at the first measure, I see an eighth note. Why? It's not just a circle, which is a whole note. It's not just that circle with a little bar off of it, which means it's a half note, which is half the amount that a whole note is. So it's worth 2. When I divide that half note into 2 notes, when it splits, I get 2 quarters. And that is definitely not a quarter because it has a little quaver, or a little flag off the side. So what we have to do is treat that as an eighth note. When we're counting in 1, 2, 3, what we want to do is see that as having potentially 3 beats. 1, 2, and then we have this eighth note as a pickup note. Where are the rest of the beats in 3, 4, you might add? They're in the last measure of all pieces of music. You can follow that every single time. It always works like magic. So at the first measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has 9 measures. They repeat over and over and over again, but the melody does not. There are a multitude of verses on here. So I'm just gonna go through the first one, which is the namesake. You can sing it as the first verse, do a couple verses of your own, and then sing it as the last verse. If you like the way that I teach, please thumbs up, put a subscribe in there. Put a comment below and we'll chit chat about music related stuff. Keep it classy. So here we go. The first note we're gonna be playing is the open C. It's the lowest string on this ukulele besides the G string, which is closest to your nose. You would play it as being your bottom string. So when we play an open note here, we would be seeing that first note on the ledger line, the first note below the treble clef. The second note we're going to be seeing is a E note. E is the bottom line of the treble clef. So every time you see that, you know that couple things. Treble clef is the G clef. So if you count up lines, if E is on the clef right here as the bottom line, the note above it would be an F, and then of course the line that is the second line from the bottom would be the G line. So we know that that's an E. Lo and behold, these notes are going up. Scarlet, when it goes from E to F, is gonna need to sound like an eighth note. So the concept is if we're counting 1, 2, 3, we would play it fluidly through. Right up to the G. Hold that G out, come right back down to the F, play the E again. We're gonna hang out on that D for just a moment, but we're gonna make it quick because it definitely needs to be going to the dotted quarter note. Now the dotted quarter note, it's just gonna hang out a little bit longer than a beat. So when counting, make sure that you go a little bit past your 1 and then move on, okay? When we're going through the process of seeing these open, we're gonna play an open C, E, F, G. We're gonna go back down to our F, but it's gotta be quick and then right to a 3-note movement. So we have rest. That melody is what you'll be singing. So if you know the song well enough, you can sing along. You'll be in Scarlet Town, where I was born, there was a fair maid dwelling, made every youth cry, well o' day, her name was Barbara Allen. Second verse will go the same, but to play just the chords over the top of it, let's play along after this first intro. 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, A minor, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, F major, 2, 3, C, A, C, G7, C, 2, 3. It's got a very interesting moving, which means let's count it a little bit slower and see why it's interesting. The chords carry over. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It is very special because that C kind of hangs out longer than you think it does. It goes over a measure, all right? So when you're going through there, don't start so fast that it's like blaring through. You're gonna lose a little bit of direction. If you go slow and have fun with it, you can do some finger style stuff. Here is one great idea when you're doing the melody as well. You can pluck the middle strings and then the outer strings along with the melody. You could have 1, 2, 3, and... Oh, you see that extension? When we do that, it's not too terribly far off of our 4-finger home base to do one other extra finger. Hey, I hope you had a good time. I did. Look forward to more stuff like this. Please subscribe and share this, I don't know, with 100 million people.